Hey everyone, this is Tom from VermiBag Composting Systems. I've been promising I'm going to do a video just showing you how the worms react to just putting bedding into it versus food. This is a VermiMax that I've had running for quite a while now. And you can tell right now looking at the top of it that it's really worked over. I had newspapers over the top of this, and the worms have really worked their way through the newspaper. And you can see an awful lot of castings right at the top. And I can tell they need some food too, because when I got up this morning there were a lot of worms along the edges and stuff, and when they start running out of food a little bit they tend to really push up the sides of the bag a lot. If they have plenty of food in there they pretty much stay put. So what I'm going to do is the bedding material that I make, there's another video there, I'll put a link to it down in the description. I'm going to put some of that material in here, about probably 3 inches or so, maybe 4 inches over the whole top of this. I'll let it sit a couple days and then we'll come back and take a look and just see how many worms have just migrated into that bedding and using it as food. I'll show you what the bedding's like here. Now this is the bedding. This has been sitting outside for about a month. Big Rubbermaid tub full of it. It's very moist material. And again, there's a description on how I make bedding in the link below, and you can show you how to make this stuff. And this is a ton of paper. I mean, there is some coconut coir in there, and I've mixed some coffee grounds in with it. But it's mainly giving a big jump start onto all the paper that you're throwing into the composting systems. I'm a big advocate of using as much paper as possible because, like in my work, we generate so much of it that I like trying to use quite a bit of it. And the worms will really eat it. You mix it in with the occasional vegetable scraps and other things like that, but I mean they can really just devour this bedding. And when I put this in there, we'll look at it in a couple days, you'll see what I mean. Okay, so what I got 2 gallons of the bedding that I make. So I'm just going to pour that on and spread it out. So that's probably 2 inches, 2.5 inches. I'm going to get another 2 gallons worth. Okay, here's another 2-gallon bucket full of bedding. I'll put that in. Spread this around. That's it. We'll come back in a couple days and take a look at it and see if the worms like this bedding or not. Okay, it's been 2 days since I've added the bedding into this VermiMax. So let's take a look and see how the worms did with the new bedding. This is the older VermiMax too. I actually had a Velcro lid that went on it. It works alright, but worms can get out. They do occasionally. Wow, you can see the material's already worked over. I don't know if you can. It's real smooth. It almost looks like a top of a sponge or something over the whole area here. It's just perfectly level. You can tell they've really been working the areas. So let's scoop in there a little bit and see. See all the worms in there. Let's see if they're, grab another spot here. I mean, the worms are just completely inundated into these areas, and I mean it's pretty even all the way across. Anywhere I grab, tons and tons of worms all the way throughout this bedding. I'll grab a little bit over in this other corner. Same thing. And the worms through this whole thing are pretty well evenly dispersed. No matter what corner I take of this. So that's the power of this bedding. I mean, they actually absolutely thrive on this bedding. It's pretty easy to make. I'm actually going to do another video. I got another way to make it a little bit easier. It's still the same materials. It's basically your shredded paper, shredded cardboard, you know. But mixing it and stuff, I have a different way I do it. Makes it a little bit simpler. So I'll put another video out and show you how to do that. But if you haven't watched the video on making the bedding, I highly recommend that you watch it. And your worms will really, really thrive on this stuff. As you can tell, that's just strictly bedding, and those worms just came up from there and just completely inundated the whole space. So, till next time, this is Tom from VermiBag Tutorials. Ciao.